Trump. Steph, take it away.
Thanks so much, Hallie. Gary, you were here last year as part of the president's delegation. You're the guy who wrote the America is Open for Business speech. Fast forward 1 year, and what's the big topic? America's trade war. What happened?
Well, look, America is definitely open for business. If you think of what we accomplished in the last year or two in changing our tax code and lowering the corporate tax in America to 21%, which puts us very much in line with the rest of the world, repatriating money back home, the United States has gotten very competitive from an economic situation. You've seen that. We've seen real economic growth in the United States. We've seen quarters at 3 and 3.5%. And so the U.S. is growing. So that is really important. Okay. And we are open for business in the United States right now.
But we're also seeing entire industries suffer, and we're at somewhat of a stalemate with China. Yeah. Where do you see that going, especially given where you were involved in trade negotiations and where they are now?
Yeah, Steph, it's interesting. Look, it's very clear. I'm not an advocate of tariffs, and I'm not an advocate of trade wars. So
is that why you left the White House?
Let's just start with that. But really, what's going on with the tariffs right now? It's a consumption tax on U.S. consumers. No foreign company is paying that tariff. Who's paying that tariff is a U.S. consumer is paying that tariff when they buy a product that is imported from overseas. What does that mean? It means that the U.S. consumer has less money to spend on other products in the United States, or even worse, they have less money to save at the end of the week because they've had to spend that money on tariffs. That's not what we should be doing to our own citizens.
So that explanation you just gave me is what you could get in an Economics 101 class.
Yep.
The president has called himself Mr. Tariff. You worked with him for a year. Whether we're talking tariffs or deficits or basic economics, does he understand them? Because people in the United States thought we voted for a business guy president, and you're talking about basic econ that he doesn't get.
One of the things the president does understand is he does understand that one of our big competitive advantages in the United States is we are a big inventing economy. We have created more internet processes and more internet companies and more tech companies than anywhere else in the world. When we invent those products, we need to get paid for those products by the rest of the world, most importantly the Chinese.
You're right, and Obama knew that too, which is why he wanted to participate in TPP.
Right. We need to get paid. We are not getting paid for those products right now. The Chinese are stealing our intellectual property. They're forcing us to transfer our technology. They're barring U.S. companies from entering the Chinese market. The president does want to level that playing field. And I do support that. And every company here supports that. And that is one of the things that he does want to do. And he is trying to do that.
And every politician wants that. But are the actions he's taking to do that the right ones? It doesn't. Then I ask you again, does he understand economics?
Look, we're trying to get.
Does he understand economics?
Does he understand economics? I don't. Look, the president it's very obvious. We disagree on tariffs. We completely come about this from a different point of view. My view is the way to get the Chinese to open up their market and for them to pay for the technology they're taking is to have done it in a cohesive fashion with all of our G7 allies. And we talked about that in Taormino at the G7 meeting, and we had a plan to do that. I do not believe that tariffs will force the Chinese to do anything different. The Chinese are not suffering. The U.S. consumer is suffering.
We're seeing not just the president and his delegation not here, Theresa May's not here, Emmanuel Macron, and this rise of nationalism and populism. It's not just the angry American, it's all over the world. What do we do about it?
Well, I think we're at an interesting inflection point, and I get it to some degree. In the United States, I get it to a large degree. I really get what's going on. The problem is that we're evolving into a globalist world. As we evolve, we haven't changed all of the rules, and we're still operating with many very old rules. And I think the new generation of students and kids today wants to change everything overnight, not understanding there's a lot of rules that we have to live with right now. Maybe we just need to reevaluate the rules and how we govern ourselves.
Okay, if we need to change the rules because the system's not working, how are we going to do that? We can't even keep our government open.
Well, I agree. And by the way, keeping our government open is a pretty easy thing to do. So we've got to be able to attack the easy things before we get to the difficult things.
Why would you say keeping the government open is an easy thing to do? The president won't do it. He wants funding for a wall.
Look, the government should be open. To put 800,000 government employees out of work to fight over, a wall and immigration. We need immigration in the United States. We need legal immigration in the United States. The United States has been built on immigration, and that's how we've grown our economy. That's how we've continued to create jobs. Look at where we are in the United States right now. We have over 7 million job openings. We have less than 7 million unemployed people in the United States. If we want to continue to grow our economy, there's only one way to do it. Allow immigrants in the country. They should be legal, and we should have a mechanism for them to come into the country.
Okay, then, if we have all of these great job opportunities, how can the president, you sat next to him, you were in the White House with him, how can he make the argument that Mexicans are stealing all of our jobs, we need a wall?
Look, we have 7 million job openings in the United States.
You're not answering my question.
It's just a fact. We have 3.1% wage growth in the United States. We have real wage growth going on right now. The bottom wage earners are growing faster than the top wage earners. All the wage data is really good right now. The hardest thing for CEOs to do today is hire good people. You hear it from everyone you talk to.
Then when you presented the president with these facts over and over, how did he respond?
Look, he wants to drive wages. He wants to drive jobs. We have to do that. We're doing that. The tax code is doing that. The economy is doing it. We're getting the results that we wanted to get from the tax code. It's happening. We just have to continue to allow this to go.
But he's also mad at CEOs. Mary Barra did her job. A CEO's job, and if you want to change capitalism, if you want to change what CEOs' jobs are, then change those rules.
I agree.
But her job is to perform for shareholders and sell products.
Correct.
She had to close factories because they weren't doing that. And the president is angry with her, blaming her, and going after her. Walk me through how this makes sense, because you've been the head of a company and you've been in the White House.
Look, Mary Barra is doing exactly what she should do. She is working for her shareholders, and she is trying to maximize return for her shareholders. She has an obligation to do that. And more importantly, her independent board, as fiduciaries for her shareholders, as ruled by the SEC, is doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is optimizing and maximizing return for the shareholders. So Mary, if she can't sell and manufacture cars profitably, she gets out of that business. That's exactly what she's supposed to do. We're still manufacturing an enormous amount of cars in the United States, and we're selling them, but the companies that are doing that are doing it profitably.
Then how could the president have said, don't sell your house yet, Ohio, we're keeping these factories open? How can a president think it's his job to do that? Could he control Mary Barra?
It's the job of CEOs to provide to consumers the products they want at a price they're willing to pay. And if they do that, they will succeed. And consumers will decide what products should be produced in the United States.
Then whose job is it to serve those people in hollowed out towns when the factories close? If it's not Mary Barra's job, whose job is it?
It's all of our jobs, because we're going to
all of our jobs, and nobody's job is the same thing.
It's all of our jobs. As we continue to grow, our economy, we're going to need more workers. We're going to need more spaces for the workers, and companies are going to continuously look at new places to open, new places to move businesses to, where the cost of labor and the cost of occupancy is lower and lower. And you've seen that city after city after city. You've seen people rejuvenate cities because cost of labor, cost of real estate is cheaper. Look at what's going on in the Midwest right now. People are moving back to the Midwest. I grew up in Cleveland. Cleveland's a hot city now because labor is there, real estate is there, and it's relatively inexpensive versus your other alternatives of Chicago or New York or other places like that.
Hindsight 2020, you led the tax reform. Would you do it the same way now? Would you look at it and say, yep, perfect, we'd do it the same way again?
Stephanie, no piece of legislation is ever perfect. Legislation is about compromise. You need to get 235 House members and 50 senators to say yes on something. You're never going to get it perfectly done. We got a bill done that was very, very good. It was very important to lower the corporate tax rate. It was very important to repatriate money. It was very important to make our tax code simpler. We got those things done. There are plenty of things in there I would have done differently. There's plenty of things in there that I would have changed. Our tax code is very, very complex.
Gary, before we go, your message to the president. If you were to speak to the president, what would you tell him?
Look, a lot of his ideas are phenomenal. A lot of things he's doing are great, and people don't understand. He's growing the economy. He's creating jobs. He's doing the right things.
Shut down, Gary.
The government needs to be open. The government needs to be he's got to get the government open.
Good luck. Hallie Jackson sending it back to you. Gary Cohn and I joining